Hello and welcome to Connect and Collaborate. I am Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer, and I would like to ask our audience a few favors. Please visit cobrt.com and you can check out our newsletter. Sign up for that while you're there. Check out our radio page so you can find all of our past shows at cobrt.com/radio-podcast. We also have some events coming up that are supposed to be really exciting, so check out our events page while you're there. And I'm ready to get into today's show with Kerry Slaven. How are you doing, Kerry?
I'm good.
Awesome. I'm so excited to have you join us. And so I actually met you through Doug Draper, who is the host of our Storytellers series, and that series focuses on supply chain and logistics.
Yes, it does.
Yes. But I got intrigued for a couple reasons. You do a lot of work. So the reason that you were on the Storyteller series is through logistics. You work for Spire Global.
Mm-hmm.
You are the logistics captain.
Yes, I am.
Yes. So aye, Captain.
Army team.
We appreciate having you in here. But you also do some really cool hazmat training. And really cool is a nice way to put it. Some people may not find that as exciting as I do. I know it was something when I was a flight attendant at Hazmat, I had to have special training for that, and we had to have a whole class on what's classified. I still know what some of the symbols mean. I've lost a lot of that information in the time that I've gone. If you don't use it, you lose it, right?
That's right. That's
Yes.
right.
But you also have a nonprofit organization that you run
Yes,
called
ma'am.
Brave Young Hearts. And so I wanted to make sure that we covered that with you. It's a great organization. So what you do is a little bit along the lines of Make-A-Wish. And so you work with terminally ill kids.
Yes, we do.
But you do something that they won't, which is the hunting and the fishing.
We'll do all the outdoor stuff that Make-A-Wish won't do.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is awesome because I'm sure there are a lot of little kids that love doing that outdoor stuff.
Well, and they're stuck in the hospitals for treatments and everything all the time, so we want to get kids outdoors.
Yes, get that sunshine and,
Yeah.
near water and out in the open in the forest and
That's
stuff.
right.
Yes. So I want to save the talk about Brave Young Hearts for our second segment. So now I'm going to have you put your captain hat on.
Okay. How's that?
Looks good. It looks good. I love
Is it crooked?
but like fashionably crooked.
Fashionably.
Yes. All right. We know that you work for Spire Global. We know that you're the logistics captain there.
Mm-hmm.
But you also do this hazmat training on your own, and that is through Slaven Consulting.
That is.
Yes. So give me an overview of exactly what that entails. So we know that you teach hazmat classes. It's a one-day class.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more about it.
Okay, with teaching hazmat, then I'll train freight forwarders, people who actually do shipping. I'll be more than happy to train airline personnel as well. And I'll train 1 or 1,000. It doesn't matter. And when I come in and train for people, I don't give you a set program that we just go through and it doesn't have anything to deal with you whatsoever. I completely will talk to you first, and we'll set everything up exactly for what do you do so that you know how to do what you need to do.
So it's a tailored program.
It's tailored.
I love that. Yeah, because one of the things I think, at least going through flight attendant training, when we go through the FAA regulations.
14 CFR, parts 121 and 135.
Which I know which ones you're pointing to, actually. I could find those in a manual for you if I had to, quite honestly. It was like a speed reading. It got a little boring, I'm not going to lie. And I don't know if it was because we had to do just an overview and it was the people teaching it weren't nearly as enthusiastic as you are.
Well, and here's the difference, too, is when I teach a class, I'm totally off the wall.
Oh.
I try to be as wacko as possible, and I use strange, really weird pictures on things, and people say, well, it's childish. You're right, because I'm trying to teach you something, and I want you to take an interest in it, and I want you to get it, and I want you to understand it, because we get the people who I call the prisoners. My boss said I have to be here, so I don't want to be here, so I just have to do this class for whatever. And I love to get them involved in it. And then all of a sudden they're like, I'm so glad I took this class. So it's important to have fun with it because it's a dry subject when you're talking about regulations.
It can be. It can be. But like you said, you make it fun and you've got these images. So you essentially want your people to learn like children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I assume we absorb more that way.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you ought to see, though, when we start talking math, people are like, I thought I was done with this. Oh, no.
So why are you talking math?
Why?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about airlines.
Okay.
Let's talk about that I have, because those airlines are nasty people.
Yeah.
They love to charge extra for hazmat. So especially when you have multiple hazmats. So let's say you want to put a couple of them in the same package together.
Let's define hazmat before we do that.
Okay.
Can we?
Sure.
Yes.
Welcome to the world of hazardous materials. How's that?
I love that.
Okay. So hazardous materials are also known as dangerous goods by air. They're known by that by the United Nations model regulations, the International Civil Air Organization's technical instructions, and then the IATA, which is the International Air Transport Association.
So all the acronyms.
All the acronyms.
Okay.
And so everything that has been deemed to be hazardous in transportation, and there are 9 classes of hazardous materials.
Yes.
And so by those, then they set the rules for all the packaging, all the markings and labelings and documentation. So then you have to get all that put together, and then you come up with maybe, labels and placards and markings. Oh, my.
Oh, gosh. See, this is a great way for people to learn.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
I love that. So, so you've got the 9 classes and,
Yep.
and hazmat, hazardous materials.
Hazardous materials.
That's where that came from, and dangerous goods.
And dangerous goods. The same thing, just the 49 CFR, which is the law of the United States of America, has called it hazardous materials.
Yes.
But it aligns with the words dangerous goods.
Okay.
So
I did not. So they're similar in definition.
it's all the same definition, just
Okay.
a different term is all.
I feel like dangerous goods could be the name of a band,
Oh, that'd be an awesome band.
right? We're the dangerous goods.
We're the dangerous goods.
Yeah.
I'd like you to meet our guitarist, Corrosive.
Corrosive. That's a great name.
And our drummer is Explosive.
Well, yeah. So there are 9 classes.
There are 9 classes.
Let's go through them.
Let's go through them. Class 1. And now there are 9 classes, and some classes have divisions.
Right.
Class 1 are explosives. Class 1 has 6 divisions.
Yes.
So your class 1.1s are going to be your nastiest explosives.
So when we're ranking these 9 classes, are they from most hazardous to least?
Nope.
No, but
Nope.
within the classes.
But within the classes, there can be differences.
Okay.
However, that's not the case in every class.
Okay.
So a 1.1 is your nastiest explosives. 1.4 are going to be like your fireworks and your ammunition.
Yeah.
And then you can get to your 1.5s, which are totally like me, just completely insensitive.
Oh. Just insensitive.
Insensitive. And then class 2 are gases.
Okay.
Gases have 3 divisions. 2.1 are your flammable gases, so your butanes and propanes and things. Class 2.2 are now your non-flammable, non-toxic gases, so things like neon, argon, helium, which everybody loves to play with,
Yes.
nitrogen. And then 2.3, so now if you're looking at, now we've gone 1 and 2, looks like it's less.
Yeah.
But now we get to 2.3, that's your toxic inhalation gases.
Okay.
Am I going to die? Yes.
Oh. Good to know.
So those are your toxic gases.
So your 2.3 are make sure you are covered.
Well, sometimes you even get a chance with the 2.3s. Sometimes you don't. Because they're rated in zones. Zone A through D. Zone A, bye-bye.
Okay.
It's over.
So what's an example of a zone A?
Is nitric oxide compressed. This
Okay.
is zone A. What makes it a zone A are the concentrations of parts per million. So with a zone A gas, it takes 200 parts per million or less to be deadly.
Okay. 200 parts per million or less. That's not very much, is it?
It's not very much.
Okay. That's scary.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And then you get to your zone Ds, and now you're between 3,000 and 5,000 parts per million.
Okay.
Before it's deadly. So you get a chance. You might suffer, you might foam at the mouth, but you might get a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. All right.
Okay, then class 3 has no division, it's just flammable liquids.
Okay.
So
yeah.
like you use acetone. What would you use acetone for?
Nail
there
polish.
you go.
Removing nail polish.
That's the most common use.
Okay.
Yes.
Ah.
But that's a flammable liquid.
Okay.
And of course, everybody knows gasoline and everything, but yeah, that's a flammable liquid then. And we use different hazmats in our daily life. So like acetone, fingernail polish remover. Mm-hmm. And then class 4 has 3 divisions. 4.1 are your flammable solids that ignite through friction, or it can be suicidal and be self-reactive.
Ooh.
They want to go off on themselves.
Are those
dangerous?
What are those?
What are those?
Well, examples, I guess.
Okay, so something that is going to be rated in your groups of A through F in your 4.1s are self-reactive, meaning that they have to be contained separately because they could, under heat conditions, they can go off on themselves.
So like a lithium battery?
No.
No.
Thanks for playing. Tell her what she's won, Bob. Nothing. So 4-point lithium batteries are going to be in a class 9.
Oh.
But what's inside of a pure lithium battery is a 4.3, dangerous when wet. So when you put water on it, it explodes and ignites.
Yes.
So that's the trouble with lithium batteries. They're actually a class 9 miscellaneous.
Uh-huh.
But then they have pure lithium in them, which is the lithium metal. Which
creates some issues when transporting that. And
of course, you can always, no, we haven't talked about 4.2 yet, but 4.3, 4.3 is dangerous and wet.
Yeah.
That's my favorite hazmat to play a joke on somebody. Because what happens when it gets into water?
It goes on fire.
There you go.
Yeah.
So put a pinch of it in your friend's shower head.
What? I don't know that that's a friendly thing to do.
It's not? Oh.
But April Fool's Day is coming up.
That's right.
So
that's right. Crackle, they're done.
I have ideas. It's pretty vicious. Don't send me to jail. Okay.
No.
All right.
So then 4.2 are spontaneously combustible. They don't even need air so like dirty oily rags that you throw in your garage and they light up, that's spontaneously combustible.
Okay.
And actually, rags oily is actually a proper shipping name for hazardous materials in a 4.2 as well.
Interesting. Why are people shipping those?
Because they have to get them back and forth to their customers or anything. Somebody might be a cleaning service for your rags.
Okay.
So those can be there like that.
Okay.
Although mostly those will go by ground transport.
Right.
But they can go by air too.
Okay.
So, but everything by air is also, I know we're still talking about classes.
Yes.
But you have to also know the packing group of things. The packing group is the level of danger that the packaging has to be tested to.
Okay.
So if you have a packing group 1, that's your nasty stuff.
Gotcha.
It's got to be tested to that level of danger.
How many levels are there?
There's 3.
Only
packing
3.
Group 2 is minor or medium, and then packing group 3 is just a minor danger, but there's still a danger that has to be taken into account.
Awesome. All right.
Okay.
So as far as air travel goes, I was on the commercial side, so I had passengers.
So you also had COMAT.
I did.
What's COMAT?
Oh,
Company material.
Company material.
There you
now,
go.
typically what our COMAT is just manuals, or sometimes we would have somebody's jacket that needed to get back to their place.
Okay, so let's talk about your COMAT then.
Yeah.
What about the self-inflating rafts?
Okay.
Oh, that's a class 9.
Yeah. Okay.
What about the self-inflating vests?
Yes. Now, in my defense, I did work on smaller aircraft, and so we didn't have the vests.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What about, did you carry oxygen?
Yes.
Oh, that's COMAT.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
So that's not technically considered hazmat. 'Cause
It
I definitely
is.
saw.
It still is.
Okay.
But there are exceptions for COMAT.
Yeah.
There are exceptions for passengers.
Okay.
And everybody still falls under 49 CFR Part 175 for air,
Yes.
which is where the FAA gets their jurisdiction as well.
All right.
So passengers can only take so much stuff as well.
Exactly. And so lithium batteries, for our audience that may or may not know this, though they should by now, lithium batteries live in everything. They're in your cell phones. They're in your laptops. They're in your e-cigarettes.
They're in your watch.
They're in your watch. They're in everything.
They're in everything.
So I know that they're limited, but also we were never allowed to let anybody have a lithium battery underneath the plane.
Why is that?
Well, because if they go on fire, there's no way to fight that fire.
There's no way to fight that fire.
Exactly. I actually, so after the incident that Samsung had with their phones, with their Samsung Galaxy 7 Note. Yes. So
Very good.
Yes. Trust me, I got yelled at a lot because I had an S7 and everyone was like, is that the phone? I'm like, it's not the Note. So it was the Note. Once that happened, they gave us special training. To fight these fires. And you do not want to put water on them.
No, you do not.
Yeah. That was exciting.
Because then you'll create a chain reaction.
Exactly. It's going to have more of an impact. Yeah.
And so passengers are regulated as well. They don't even realize it, though.
No.
But in 175.10 of 49 CFR, then that's where all the rules are for passengers. And my frustration, too, is that TSA doesn't really have a feel for that. I'm not saying they don't know anything about it.
Right.
But I wish that they had a better feel for it, because they have their signs posted at the airport and everything, but they don't really understand
what it means.
Yeah. And so people are probably carrying things that they shouldn't be at all.
So let's talk a little bit about that. What don't we know that we don't know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, with your lithium batteries, and in your carry-on is the only way that they're allowed. If there you go, a battery by itself is completely forbidden on passenger aircraft.
Yes.
Metal battery by itself is completely forbidden on aircraft. And the difference between metal is that metal is non-rechargeable and ion is rechargeable. So ion is the most common that's on there.
Okay.
So passengers, though, if they can carry a lighter if they're a smoker, but they can't carry a bunch of lighters.
They also cannot carry a butane lighter.
That's it.
Yes.
Why does that?
That would something about it not going out as well, right? Like that can't be extinguished with water.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. You're pulling out knowledge I haven't had to use.
So if we get a fire on board, the odds are you got to know exactly what the chemical is and how to treat fight that fire.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And we do have both halon and water fire extinguishers on board. So if need be, we do have both.
Right.
And we have a way of putting those fires out. But that is why passengers can't carry those butane lighters. It's because they can't be put out with water.
So now passengers may come on with their own oxygen for medical.
Yes.
As well as they may come on with a wheelchair that has a lithium battery. So those are all allowed. Those are exceptions that you can use.
Right.
There.
Yeah.
But, can I carry a box of ammunition in my pocket on the plane? No. It has to be locked and checked. So things like that. So people don't understand that there's so many rules that actually apply to crew as well as ground staff as well as the passengers and everything too. So.
Yeah.
It's not just putting something in a box and shipping it. There's also this other factor, too.
Well, and safety regulations are there for your safety.
You think?
Yeah. That was one of my favorite complaints that I got. Well, why? Well, obviously, there's a rule there for your safety. It's the same rule that applies, the dumb rule, right? We put rules on things because clearly somebody was dumb enough to do it before.
That's it, and that's how regulations get written.
Exactly. Yeah. So continuing on with this with these classes.
Okay.
We got to 4.
We got to 4.
Yes.
So now we're at 5. So 5 has 2 divisions. 5.1 are your oxidizers.
Yes.
So a simple oxidizer might be Clorox bleach. Aha, you use that.
Yes. Sometimes my mom wouldn't let me for a long time, but but yes.
And your store versions of hydrogen peroxide.
Okay.
Those are oxidizers. But then you get into the nasty oxidizers, ammonium nitrate fertilizer.
Okay.
Does that sound familiar?
It sounds like it's part of a bomb.
Oh, as in Oklahoma City?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It was part of the bomb.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when he mixed it with diesel fuel, shaboom, shaboom.
Ah.
There you go.
Okay.
And then 5.2 are organic peroxides. Well, that doesn't sound so bad. It's organic. It's natural. No, it's bad.
Yeah.
Because they contain a separate O compound, so they're highly unstable. So they can be temperature controlled or vibration controlled, because they can also have an explosive sub-risk as well. So people use those for making plastics.
Okay.
Oh.
The plastics that we use every day.
Yeah, the plastics that we use every day. They're using, organic peroxides to help make those.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, class 6 has 2 divisions. 6.1 are now your toxics in liquid or solid, not a gas.
Okay.
Because the gas is 2.3. And then you have 6.2 are now your infectious substances. So body parts, blood pathogens, diseases, things like that are your infectious substances. Class 7 is just radioactive. Class 8 is just corrosive, like acids.
Yes.
And then class 9 are your miscellaneous, that there's something, it doesn't meet the definition of any of the other 8 classes.
Okay.
But there's something dangerous in transportation about this.
Okay. So technically speaking, our lithium batteries are here. Mm-hmm. They're in 9. They're in the miscellaneous.
They're in 9.
But the lithium
itself, pure lithium,
is
a 4.3, dangerous when wet.
Okay. So our other materials that are classified in miscellaneous are typically one ingredient in those found in other classes.
Could be, yeah.
Okay.
So for instance, for like a self-inflating raft, you're going to use a charge, and it's going to use a gas to fill that. So that's something else, but it's the raft that creates it to be the class 9 because it's self-inflating. Your charges are small, but the whole raft. So then lithium batteries are class 9. What about dry ice?
Yeah.
Dry ice, I can fill a whole 53-foot trailer up on ground and not have to tell anybody it's in there. Why? Because it's only regulated by air and water, because it displaces oxygen. So in a truck, nobody cares.
This is awesome. So how can I find more information on making sure that I get you to teach this awesome class to my business?
Well, you could go to slaven-consulting.com.
All right.
And then we can get you all booked up. And like I said, I'll personally come to your office, and I will tailor exactly for what you need.
I love
Not
that.
some generic program and then mindless test. I'm going to make you walk through the test because I want you to understand it. So,
which seems fair, because if I'm not in the air industry at all, if my company doesn't deal with that, I probably only need to know a fraction of what goes on for those regulations.
Right.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you, Kerry.
Thank you, Alex.
Yes. So we're going to take a quick break here on Connect and Collaborate. When we come back, we're going to talk about Kerry's nonprofit, Brave Young Hearts. So stay with us. Be sure to like and subscribe our YouTube page in the meantime, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Connect and Collaborate. I am Alex Hopkins, your on-air producer, and I'm having a fantastic conversation here with Kerry Slaven, who is the logistics captain at Spire Global, as well as Slaven Consulting, talking hazmat and dangerous materials, or dangerous goods.
Dangerous goods.
Dangerous Goods, which is the name of our band that we're creating after this show.
That's right.
So I have a garage, so we'll start a garage band. But I'm totally calling the name corrosive. But the other reason I had Kerry in studio is to talk about your nonprofit organization, Brave Young Hearts. I'm so excited to get you in studio to talk about this. So Brave Young Hearts is a nonprofit
We are a 501c3.
Awesome. Good to know for our audience.
Yes.
And so you can write that off on your taxes.
Yes.
If you do donate.
Yes.
But even better than donating sometimes is volunteering, helping out.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But it is a nonprofit organization dedicated to taking kids on adventures, terminally ill kids.
They either have to be terminal or have a life-threatening disease.
Okay. All right. Well, you know what? You take it away. You tell me. You tell me what it is you guys do and why. Why you started this organization.
Well, what we do is we want kiddos to have an outdoor experience. And whether that's skiing, snowboarding, water sports, dog sledding, camping, fishing, horseback riding, hunting, whatever they want to do outdoors is what we want to get them out for. We call giving them a chance at normal because most of these kids never get a chance at normal. They're always in chemo or radiation or something else. So we provide the outdoor adventures for these kiddos. And we got started because we lost our first granddaughter, Bethany, to brain tumors when she was 4.5. And she kept bugging me because I'm Papa Bear. And she'd say, Papa Bear, when can I go hunting with you? And I'd say, honey, when you turn 7, I'm going to take you and I'm going to teach you how to do this. And she kept asking over and over again. And then she only lived to be 4.5. And so it's in her honor and her memory that we do this because she never had a chance at normal. She was always in the hospitals. She had over 20 surgeries on her head alone. So, and the last year of her life, she had had 4 strokes, and so she was in a vegetative state. So she lost out on everything. Yeah. But to honor her memory, we formed Brave Young Hearts, and we are now in our 4th year, going on our 4th year. And the first year was all just to get legal.
Right.
So we did that. And now we have already done 14 adventures.
14? Wow.
And we have 4 more on tap right now.
Yeah.
We have a little girl who lives in Maryland. So we're based in Colorado.
Right.
But we've got kiddos that have been reaching out to us. They just find us and they're like, what about us?
Yeah.
So we have a little girl in Maryland that we're sending to the Poconos here in 2 weeks. And she's going to go to the Great Wolf Lodge there.
Wow.
And we have a little girl here in Colorado Springs, or actually Castle Rock, that we're sending her. She was on part of the other ones of not really outdoor, but she just really wanted something, so sometimes we make exceptions. And she's going to go to New York City and go see the Lion King.
Wow.
And we have a little boy who lives in Bismarck, North Dakota, and he's going to go to California and go whale watching.
Wow.
And then do a little fishing.
Yeah.
And then we've got a little boy in New York who wants to come here, and we're going to send him to the Sequest down in Littleton, and we've already got it worked out that he gets all the backstage stuff, gets to pet the manta rays, and he gets time with a mermaid and all that. And then he's also going to go to the Wild Animal Sanctuary out in Kingsburg, too, and spend the whole day there, too. So,
wow.
So we're busy.
I would say so. So I am sorry to hear about your granddaughter Bethany, and this is a great way to pay homage to her. This is such an inspiring organization that you've started. And that being said, do you have an age range? Because I know that as far as hunting and fishing are concerned, we have to talk about licenses, right? And
we have to still meet laws. We can't just say, oh, little Johnny can go hunting when he's not old enough to lift a rifle or anything. We still have to obey all the laws.
Yeah.
And we'll try to do everything we can to accommodate their adventure request. But we do have to follow all the regulations and everything too. So.
Yeah.
But we did send a kiddo He wanted to go on a cougar hunt, and we sent him to British Columbia.
Yeah.
And that rotten kid dropped a cat in the first hour. And I'm like, what?
Right? That's tough for a seasoned
No,
hunter.
it really is.
Yeah. Goodness gracious. In the first hour.
In the first hour. So we had him up there for a whole week, so he had lots of time to goof off and go out and see all the different wildlife up there. But yeah, he got his cougar in the first hour of opening morning.
That's awesome. I bet all the other hunters that day were jealous.
I know.
Yeah. So let's talk about, you've had 14, you're working on 4 more this year. Do you have a set amount that you take every year, or just how do you accommodate these?
We want to accommodate. We don't want to turn a child away.
Of course.
So as long as we have the funds, we want to keep going. Originally when we started, we thought, well, we'll do 2 adventures a year. But we just can't turn in the requests.
Yeah.
So.
That's, and so again, your requirements are either terminally or life-threatening.
Correct.
Okay.
And we have to have a doctor certify that, and that a doctor also has to certify that the kiddo can do what they're asking for. And then what are the conditions we have to meet? Like with the kiddo we sent to British Columbia, I had to make sure I had a helicopter evac ready to go in case something happened. So there's different things we need to look at on that. And then we'll only use licensed guides and everything, so everything's got to have insurance. So.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I imagine because you're taking these kids outdoors, right? We're not just going to not just to the Lion King where we can get an ambulance to an area in 15 minutes, right?
Absolutely.
We're going out, and so what kind of stipulations, you mentioned that your first whole year of running Brave Young Hearts was mostly for licensing and getting everything in track. So I imagine that you've had some extra things that you needed to do along the way as far as ensuring that you've got access to these evac helicopters and making sure that you've got, perhaps people on standby.
Yeah, we have to think everything and make sure that we have everything completely ready to go for a kiddo.
Yeah.
We try to take time to put an adventure together, and sometimes that doesn't happen. We had a little girl that we did an emergency adventure for. We sent her to San Diego to go to the San Diego Zoo and go to the ocean, and then she just passed away just recently too. So, so she's our first little kiddo for our in memory page. So, but we know in dealing with this, we'll see a lot of that. But it was tough because we got pretty close to Piper. So.
Yeah. Well, Piper's an adorable name. I imagine that they're, considering that you watched your granddaughter go through such a horrific time, that it is hard to get involved with these kids because you're going to break your heart over and over again.
I was with another group for a while right after Bethany died, and he kept telling me, don't get close to the kids. But I can't do that. So I do. I have to get really close, and yes, it hurts. But we know that we're giving these kids that chance, and we know when we see their smile, we've done that.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, it hurts, but this is something we have to do.
I love that. And by we, who all is involved?
Well, me and my wife, Diane, started. She's Mama Bear. And we started it. And we have, in addition to the 2 of us, we have 9 other board members. So
wow. Okay. So that's a nice board.
we have a board, yeah. So that nothing goes out. I can say, well, I started this, I get to do it. No. It's got to be that we all vote on everything. So.
Awesome. Well, how can I, as a business or a volunteer, get involved?
As a volunteer, we do 2 events every year. We have one coming up March 16th at the Twisted Pine Brewery in Boulder.
Yeah.
And it's a silent auction, so we need help setting things up and cleaning things up and running things. We also do a sporting clay shoot in August, and so we obviously need help with that. We usually have about 100 and some shooters, so we need to make sure we have people pulling for the shooters. We need to have people making sure that they have, sodas or water or whatever, and then we have a barbecue that we do. So there's a lot that we can do at the shoot. So, and then as far as getting involved with us too, that we don't have corporate sponsorship.
Okay.
So I say that I'm a professional beggar because I spend the same amount of time as my regular job on Braving Hearts just begging, for money and for items that we can use for our silent auction. So if anybody wants to help, they can go to bravinghearts.net and let us know.
Awesome. And would you, if I had a large item, would you be willing to come pick that up?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Good to know. I might have some things for you myself. No, I would love to be a part of that. And again, I know that you have the one coming up, A Chance at Normal, to benefit Brave Young Hearts, and that will be at Twisted Pine Brewery, Saturday, March 16th. 11:30 a.m. till 10 p.m.
So it's an all-day. It's an
Yeah.
all-day party. So don't feel like there's a specific time you have to be there by.
Yeah.
We have a bluegrass band coming in at 6:30 that night. They're called the Nose Pickers, but they're really good.
I think that's a great name.
So, and we have a lady that her kiddo has offered to bring his little band in, junior high band, and they're going to come in the afternoon and play for us for a little while too. So it's going to be just a party day, and then Twisted Pine will donate 10% of all their sales that day to us as well.
That's amazing.
They don't charge us to come in there.
Yeah.
And then we do the silent auction, we bring in the band and everything, and they still want to help us out. So
Yeah, I think that is awesome. So, we talked about wine, we talked about some of your adventures, but can I ask, is there a specific one adventure that maybe sticks out in mind for you that's been your favorite that you love to tell people about? You mentioned the kid who bagged the cougar in the first hour and your first, and Piper, how you did the emergency San Diego trip for her, but is there any other stories?
We have one kiddo. He's confined to a wheelchair, and he can't talk or communicate or anything. And we sent him to San Antonio to Morgan's, which is a whole water park for just kids with special needs. And to see his face light up from that his name was Noah, and he's an awesome kid. So yeah, that sticks out to me.
Aww. What kind of feedback are you getting from the parents? Have they tried this with Make-A-Wish? And we know that Make-A-Wish doesn't do the outdoor adventure
They
side
don't.
at all.
But I love Make-A-Wish, so I'm not condemning them whatsoever.
Not at all. They
No.
do great work.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. This is just an extra addition that you get to provide.
And here's what we point out on that, is that we're not picky. And Make-A-Wish will not grant a wish if you've already had something else granted.
Okay.
So we advertise that on our webpage. Please take your Make-A-Wish first. Then you can still come see us.
Yeah.
We're not going to turn you away because you've had a Make-A-Wish.
Okay.
So
That is good to know.
yeah, it's just important that, there's so many kids who have a need, that we're not going to turn them away because they've already had a Make-A-Wish.
Well, and A Chance at Normal, I love that concept, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do love that concept. But for me, Normal, I had a vacation every year. We always went on summer vacation, and I know a lot of poorer families even couldn't afford to do that. And that was something that my parents made sure that they instilled in me, was a love of travel. Hence why I became a flight attendant for so long. But that being said, that was my normal, right? And so I would imagine that some of these kids, maybe I got to do this with Make-A-Wish. Maybe I got to meet my favorite baseball player, right? Or maybe I got to travel somewhere and see something for the first time that I never thought I would be able to do. But I also would love to go hunting or fishing or to see SeaWorld, right? So I think allowing a chance for more than one is awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and again, not condemning Make-A-Wish.
No, I would never do that.
Great.
Because my Bethany got to go through Make-A-Wish too, so.
Yes. Well, and obviously Bethany was a big inspirer there, and she wasn't able to go hunting with you.
No.
Now at 4, would she have been able to anyway? As far as licensing?
No.
Okay.
And even at 7, she couldn't have been licensed or anything.
Right.
But it's important to take the kids and teach them how to track, teach them feeding habits, to let them just see animals out there, and let them know too that we're not here to kill everything.
Right.
But there's a training that has to take place first, so that when they actually can hunt, they've been prepared for that.
Yeah. So she's provided this inspiration for you. But I imagine that what keeps you going are the kids that you see all the time.
Yeah. When you see the smile, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
It's definitely my passion.
Yes. So, for Adventures, is that all in 2019?
Oh, yeah, that's all going to happen here. We have the one in 2 weeks. Then the other 3 are all going to be simultaneous at the end of May.
Wow.
And then we've got more people turning in paperwork now, too. Because the cool thing is, and not to pat myself on the back, one of my board members nominated me for a show called The Journey with Dave Watson.
Awesome.
And that's on the Sportsman's Channel. And Dave Watson surprises people who do things for the community. Well, I got surprised. And Dave took me and my wife to Cabo to go marlin fishing. And the cool thing is that, yeah, I had a nice trip and I caught a nice marlin. And we got to meet Dave and his wife, and it was great. But they filmed it for their TV show. And the TV show aired. And from that, guides from around the country have called me and said, okay, I have a fishing trip that we'll give to a kid. If you have a kiddo, we have a person that wanted to donate a bear hunt in Idaho. We have a bunch of fishing trips. We have a deer hunting trip in South Dakota. So Turkey. So we have these trips that have been donated that all we need the kids for. So I intend to do a whole lot more adventures.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. I love that you got that turnout from that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, getting the word out helps.
Network.
Exactly. Yes, and I'm so happy to be able to give you a platform to
Thank you.
to push that out even more so. I want to talk a little bit more about how kids apply and how I can again, braveyounghearts.net.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure all of the information is there. What kind of paperwork do I need to make sure I have?
When what we ask is people just to, because the email address is on there, braveyounghearts@gmail.com, and just email that we have a kiddo or we know of a kiddo, and then we'll get them our forms. And what we have to have is, first off, is our adventure application. Tell us what you want to do. Tell us what your limitations are to do that. And then we have a medical authorization form that the doctor certifies that they're either terminal or have a life-threatening disease and that they're able to do what they've asked for. And then we have a photo release, obviously, because we want to be able to put all the photos on our webpage and everything. And then we just have a liability release, too, that says that, we can't promise that an adventure is actually going to happen. And if you get there and something strange happens, we can't promise that it's going, like hunting. We can't promise you're going to get an animal.
Right.
We can't promise you're going to catch a fish. But we'll do the best we can to get you there.
Absolutely. I love this, and we have a few more minutes here. What would be your message to volunteers out there?
To volunteers, please, contact us. We know that there's a lot of kiddos who have to do community service for their school, and we could use all the help we can get. And we love it when we've had a couple of elementary schools donate stuff to us, and that's so exciting to see their faces when they help us out. And so we would love for people to donate. We'd love people to volunteer. And the biggest thing, too, is that if you know somebody who's got a kiddo that's struggling, let them know about Brave Young Hearts.
Yeah, absolutely. I love hearing that. So I want to again push this next event that you have coming up. And again, that is Twisted Pine Brewery, Saturday, March 16th, 11:30 a.m. till 10 p.m. So it's an all-day event. Don't
and
feel
the Twisted
obligated.
Pine is in Boulder.
Yes, in Boulder. Yes, thank you for for mentioning that again. But it's a silent auction. You can have door prizes. You've got some bands.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun day.
Yeah. And do you have a goal of how much money you're hoping to raise?
I would like to raise $5,000.
Okay.
I really would.
I feel like that's pretty attainable.
It is.
Yeah.
We did $5,000 last year.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do it again this year. And
yeah. So how many years have you done this particular event?
this is our third chance at normal.
Okay. Awesome. And what is your event called with the sporting clay shoot?
Side by side.
Side by side.
Because if you get the metaphor of a shotgun that is a side by side shotgun, We have kiddos in wheelchairs shooting side by side with people who don't have any problems at all, side by side.
I like that. And so that one again is in August.
August 11th.
Yeah.
And that'll be at Nunn, Colorado. There's a range up there.
Awesome. And again, I'm sure that both are on the website that you can sign up for those. What kind of feedback do you get from these events? Are people, because until I met you, I didn't know about Brave Young Hearts. Mm-hmm. So what kind of feedback are you getting? Are people enthused to hear that you're in the community?
They absolutely love it. They absolutely love it. In fact, I just met a couple of ladies from doing the Operation Stimulus with Doug.
Yeah.
And they were just blown away that we actually do outdoor adventures for kids. And so they can't wait to start telling other people about it. So the feedback is really awesome. When people find out what we're doing, they're like, well, I didn't know about you. So, and even like when I get turned down on a donation, I say at least the good news is now you know about Brave Young Hearts.
And you can spread that word.
Yeah.
Because even if I get a direct no, doesn't mean you won't tell my story somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah. So I obviously we can't take care of everyone, but what is your ideal outcome with this organization? What are you hoping to achieve?
Ideally, all I want to achieve is to never turn a child down. I don't want to be, a multi-million-dollar organization. We want to keep it grassroots, but we just want to make sure that we can never turn a child down.
And you haven't yet?
We haven't yet.
Awesome. So we have the end of May. People are getting their applications in. What has been the biggest ask that you've received so far?
The biggest was one that we did turn down because it wasn't an adventure. Oh. We had a lady that her son had a Make-A-Wish, and they gave him a service dog, and she said, this thing is a pet. It's a bust. She goes, can we get a dog? And I'm like, that's not what we do.
No. Oh, no.
So, unfortunately, but that was the biggest ask that we've had. So.
Yeah. Well, and that's not up your alley, but at least people are seeing what you have and what you can do. Yeah. Right. Well, yeah, and what would you say has been probably the most humble ask?
The most humble was Piper.
Yeah.
Knowing she was going to be in an emergency. And that they didn't expect her to live much longer. So that was the most humble. And
she was from Colorado, and you sent her to San Diego to the zoo and the ocean.
Yep.
Oh, that is wonderful. I love that you are able to provide these outdoor chances for kids.
Well, thank you.
Yes. Any last words for anyone out there as far as if they have a kiddo, how to get involved or want to be a volunteer, if you're a business and want to donate?
Please, 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 please. That's my last word. Please. BraveYoungHearts.net and BraveYoungHearts@gmail.com.
I love that. Thank you so much, Kerry.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. I am looking forward to the event on March 16th. I will be there at Boulder at the Twisted Pine Brewery.
Triple dog dare you.
Oh, you don't have to dare me. I'll be there. We'll save that dare for starting the garage band.
Okay.
Yes, dangerous goods.
Okay, corrosive.
I love it. It has been a pleasure having you on, Kerry Slaven.
Thank you, Alice.
Yes, so you have a few places to visit. Definitely visit BraveYoungHearts.net. Slaven-consulting.com if you're interested in that hazmat dangerous goods course that you teach there, whether you are an individual wanting to brush up or if you've got a business that you need your team to learn on. Kerry's a great teacher. I learned a lot today, even though I had some training. And then again, you are the logistics captain with Spire Global.
I am. So regulations are my life.
Yes,
so.
They are. Yes, I definitely are a regulations kind of guy.
My wife says geek.
I'll leave that to your wife to call you the geek. Thank you so much, Kerry. It's been a pleasure. And thank you for listening to Connect and Collaborate today. Once again, be sure to visit cobrt.com/radio-podcast for this show and more. Also, be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube page. And we are live every day, Monday through Friday, cobrt.com/live at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.